My name is Janet Taylor. I live in Newton, Massachusetts with my husband and 13-year-old son. I'm 59 years old, and this is my Spaulding story. I pretty much incapacitated my entire left side. I couldn't pick up groceries, I couldn't pick up my purse. The pain was not particularly localized, so it was really hard to figure out where it was coming from. Nothing would show up on MRIs, it just wasn't something that people were seeing. When I went to the orthopedist, he said, "You're 58 years old, and the stenosis in your neck, you really can't have an expectation that there's a whole lot that you can do about it." I row, I ski, I garden, I have a life. Are you telling me at 58 that my life is sort of over? Well, your life isn't over. You're just going to have to make adjustments. You're going to have to accept this. I went to see Dr. Borkstein, and she was very optimistic. She was cautious. She said for certain she felt that she could strengthen me, and there was no reason I would ever have to live in pain.
So at Spaulding, we view an injury as just a starting point. Our goal is to look at that in the context of the person and figure out how we're going to reduce their pain and restore their activity level and maximize their function.
She said that I really had to go see a particular therapist over at Spaulding Rehab that she felt could really make it happen, and that's when I met Elizabeth St. George. And I say that with a smile because Elizabeth really was key to my recovery.
So when Janet first came to see me, she was very much in pain, and basic day-to-day activities were difficult. Her ultimate goal was to get back to rowing, but first we needed to start with the smaller things and address day-to-day functioning.
One of the first goals is just to restore normal flexibility and motion. And until you do that, it's hard to really strengthen and do your sport or your functional task.
And what was interesting about Elizabeth, not only did she not start with the kinds of things that other physical therapists had done, but she started really with a slow analysis of what was going on. She had a lot of communication with Dr. Borkstein, so she knew kind of what she was looking for. And she started off 3 times a week, trying to physically manipulate my body to try and get through the scar tissue and break down some of the spasm. And I have to be really honest, for a small woman, she has really strong hands.
With therapy, if you can't convince a patient that you're a partner, your job is going to be a lot harder, and they may not have the success that they could have had.
She also makes it a collaboration. We can do it this way or we can do it that way. Which way do you think you'll be most likely to fit into your lifestyle? I started rowing. I remember I was so excited because it was like I was back. I wasn't rowing at the level that I was rowing 3 years ago. There's no way. I'm still not rowing at that level. Basically, Elizabeth and Dr. Borkstein had gone from the man telling me that I would never, ever get in a boat again, and I probably would never, ever be pain-free. And here I am, not really, maybe 6-8 months later, I'm in the boat. Okay, I'm not going to win the head of the Charles, but I'm in the boat, and I'm rowing pain-free.
We pride ourselves on providing that comprehensive, quality, patient-centered care that you may not get at other places.
You can't help but be thrilled with the fact that if it hadn't been for their collaboration, if I hadn't been in the hands of such caring and professional people, that I wouldn't have gotten my life back. I wouldn't have been able to return to my boat, return to my family, and return to the way I like to live as a 59-year-old woman.
We value the rehabilitation team. It's part of our core mission, sort of how we grew up and how we kind of look to each other as family in that way on a day-to-day basis.
I enjoy being able to tell people I know who say, "Oh, well, it's chronic and I will never get any relief from it because my doctors have told me so." I say, no, I was told the same story, and you should go get a second opinion from the people at Spaulding Rehab.